When Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare released, it was like... Modern Warfare changed everything. This game, Halo, and Grand Theft Auto were some of the first games that really caught the public's eye, but were something more than just murder porn. They were really good games, and to some people, it's the best war game ever made. It's good, I would even say great, but this is definitely one of those games that got lost in time. The campaign feels too quick, enemies constantly fled towards you, and it started this horrible standard of hiding behind walls and waiting for your health to regen, and this absolutely stifled game design for a little under a decade. Mostly by its future sequels, but any game that changes the industry is important, whether good or bad. Now obviously the reason why so many people loved this game was because of the multiplayer. It was the biggest rival to Halo 3's, but I don't like talking about old multiplayer because it's kind of pointless for your average consumer, so hardy har har, funny glitches, copy and paste the prestige system.
Your mom's a hoe!
Now we got the campaign. A lot of people compare this to Half-Life and its sequel in terms of watching these huge set pieces happening in first person, making these scenes feel more intimate and therefore memorable. However, it's more like it evolved from the previous Call of Duty Medal of Honor games. Now, I don't have the context to delve that far back into the history of either one of those franchises. Just know that after Call of Duty 3 came out, everyone was sick and fucking tired of World War II shooters. And COD 4 wasn't the first Modern Warfare game to come out, but it easily understood what would make this era so entertaining: variety. This campaign is an excellent example of how to execute subversion and pacing. Instead of some bombastic epic intro, it's a bit low-key, a bit of action here and there, and then BAM! Going back and forth between spec ops shit and swinging your big American schlong around, and then the big
Everyone hang on!
This makes everything you did in the first act completely pointless. You know there's a nuke, but you don't care. You're the hero. Everything is going to be fine. In the end, you watch your character slowly die, observing dust, ash, and then darkness. End of Act 1. Like and subscribe! I'm a terrible person. Now, this is one of those iconic gaming moments, and at this point, you're here for the long haul, and this game keeps it up with some amazing missions. All Gillied Up still stands as one of the best stealth missions of all time, but some people equate this to having a great story. The story kinda sucks. So this Russian ultra-nationalist, Anyway, a Russian ultra-nationalist and unspecified Middle Eastern general overthrow their leaders and take over their respective countries. Now, the British SAS handles the stuff in Russia, while the American Marines come in to occupy the Middle Eastern country. Okay, that's fine. Creates diverse environments with fun, differing combat mechanics, and then the bomb goes off. And this is where the first question pops out. So, why would this patriotic general, who just got done with a coup, want to blow up the Capitol? While sure, killed a lot of American soldiers, but probably killed all of your forces and millions of your civilians. That's a fun rhyme to say. Now, this is explained in the sequels, but the developers never intended to make any sequels. So this makes no fucking sense. But I don't think I've seen anyone ever make this point, because Call of Duty is never about the story. It's about moments. These single scenes of high, visceral action, spectacle, but emotion that most games don't quite hit the mark on. It's what gives this game its legendary appeal and spawned over a dozen sequels. This is aided by memorable characters like Captain Price and a really good OST. I think when we look at these parts separately, it's not that great of a game, but combined, it set the standard for the 7th generation of games. I think if this was late, even by a year or two, it wouldn't have had this hold on the market. It was the first one to really do games like this, combining an addictive multiplayer with a good single-player campaign. And sure, it's not the only one that did this. However, Modern Warfare just hits all the check marks that make it a great modern game, because it wrote that checklist where we really stop talking about retro games and start talking about modern games.